very basics of materials. And of course, here I have a plastic container, a little clip, some paper, and just the camera on a computer. I mean, nothing fancy schmancy. So here we go. Start out with a basic question. What's the bottom line here? Why are we here? What's the point? And it's the same no matter where I go. Is that I can find from the secretary up at the front office, to the guidance counselor, to the janitor in the back, to the teacher who's been here the longest, that many of them are here because they have friends, relatives, grandkids, or even their own kids. And the reason they come to school every day is to make sure that they get the right teachers. I don't know if you knew this, but NBC News reported recently that U.S. college enrollment was down for the second year in a row. I thought they were doing pretty well, particularly private colleges. By 500,000 students. We're not. However, the amount of foreign-born students coming into our country and going to our schools is up at the highest level ever. There's vacant seats. Colleges have to fill them. Makes perfect sense. That's from U.S. government information sources. U.S. colleges are already planning to raise the entry requirements across the board due to, of course, recent criticism everybody's been getting. I mean, high schools, we've been enduring it, elementary and middle schools as well. So they have, not many of them have a very good success rate, as it were. And a lot of them are a lot of people are clamoring for a report card on colleges. So due to the recent criticism of their high failure and dropout rate, the bar is starting to go up. In the state of Tennessee, Belmont University currently requires a 24. Sewanee, very beautiful college, 26. UT at 24. Vanderbilt at 32. I couldn't even spell 32 when I was in high school. As far as diversity goes, U.S. college enrollment of white students has been a steady decline since 2005, as mirrored in lower schools, but that has been a truism across the nation. If you know anything about U.S. statistics and you go anything about the census, if you look at the country as a whole, population-wise, there's been a general white decline. U.S. college enrollment of Hispanic and Black students, not ED students, so we do have in our country a flow of people into college. It's just not as great as it used to be. And part of it is, it is the fact, and we talked about this, that the degrees needed to get a job. The reality of life is the degree needed to get a job are these degrees. This comes from a number of sources, to include U.S. News, Business Week, those places. But you need things like biomedical engineering degree, biometrics, robotics. You like to play games? Do you like to hack? Cybersecurity. These are degrees that will get you a job. The majority of these degrees require knowledge of computers and computer skills. Do we do that in school? Nope. We need to. We need to do it in school. We need to let them use smartphones, computers. We need to stress these. We really do. We need to stress the STEM courses in high school. This is the path that those of us working in schools push our students towards, or our kids. These are the ones we like. I mean, come on. We love these. The majority of us do. The humanities. Most teachers are. The humanities, visual arts, some kind of design, liberal arts, philosophy. The worst of all, anthropology. And like the little note down here says, I don't know if you can see it, is can you see a trend or a thread through this? And as a general rule of thumb, these are very far from the world of math and science and computer technology. Oh, by the way, going back to this piece of paper, these are 4-year and 6-year degrees, but there are thousands of support people that work under these people that are 2-year degree. There's a lot of jobs out there, lots of jobs, but still in high school they've got to have the basics. They've got to have the math and science courses. They've got to take the tough courses. If you had a child coming into the school system right now, I know that first of all you would endorse your child going into the toughest kindergarten class there is, right up through calculus in high school. How do we best prepare kids for these future jobs? How do we be real about it? The bottom line is we need to set higher standards for ourselves and for our kids. There was a survey recently in local schools where the kids said things were too easy. Classes were too easy. So, some facts. Higher college standards. College costing more, too. I mean, everybody's got to make money. Scientific and technical degrees, soft majors, need not apply. Do we give them too many excuses? Oh, they don't have the money. Their parents don't like it. Nobody comes to parent-teacher conference. On and on. I know. I hear it all the time. Believe me, I've been a high school teacher. I've been a parent longer than I've been anything. I think it's time we stopped giving these students an out. It's time. And you know where success comes from? Rigor. And I think this is it. I really do. If you've read Common Core, if you've been through the training, if you've looked at it, I think you'll agree. The key to success is right here in front of us. Common Core state standards, these states have all gotten together, agree on a common core. It helps our students. It provides rigor and an opportunity for those of us in the educational field to help all the students do better. Professional educator using professional vocabulary. I'm big on vocabulary. I might not sound like I'm big on vocabulary, but I'm big on vocabulary. Working in a professional classroom, that's key a lot of times. What does your classroom look like? In a professional school, school is about education. The key is school is about education. Nothing else matters, quite frankly. Sure, it's a social place. And sure, there's sports involved, and the arts. I understand that. But when Johnny walks out the door with Jane and they get their diploma, it's all about education. It doesn't say anything else on there. When you put those things together, you get a professional and successful student. You really can. So the question is, how do you participate in this change, in this Common Core change, in all these things, flipped classrooms, formative assessments? I've been spouting a lot of things for almost 2 years now here in Polk County. So how do you participate in this change? What are you going to do? I think you need to look into flipping your class. I really do. I think you really need to embrace technology. There's a couple of you out there that it's kind of like the snake handlers in Kentucky. I'm sorry, but that's not going away. It's just not. Come back in 10 years and you'll be so surprised to see what a classroom looks like, if you can even recognize it. I think you need to rethink how you teach. You need to walk away from the front of the classroom and go to the back. You really do. This whole concept of gradual release of responsibility, you give it to them. You help guide them find the knowledge. Remember that video I showed you of the kids holding up the signs? Let them figure it out. They can do it. Become a professional if you're not one already when you model yourself to the children. Modeling is such a responsibility. It really is, because whether or not you believe it, when you're standing in front of those children, young adults, they watch everything you do. Now you know this, but sometimes we forget. And they see what you do, and they know your reactions and how you act towards others in the school, and that's all professionalism. You need to, and we need to model ourselves and become people that they want to emulate, jobs they want in the future, hope for the future. You know, one thing I hear a lot around here is how they don't want to do anything, there's nothing to do in the future. Well, we've got to give them that hope, I think. It's our job. If we don't, who will? So, what I'd like you to do is identify one standard that you can flip. I sent you out some information earlier about flipping, etc. Next, check the iTunes U, the Khan Academy, TED, EDU. I sent you those links. YouTube, of course, TeacherTube. There's a whole host of things. And just come up with a little outline of, or a gem of an idea, or something that you think might be worthy of flipping. Remember, flipping and gradual release of responsibility is also something you can use. These nuggets of lesson plans you can keep for those times you're not feeling well, you have something, an emergency in your family, it snows, and you can build up this library of things that the students must do. And here's the key, of course, if they must do it, and it's a standard they must achieve, then it's their responsibility to get it done. Try it. Let's see. Test the water. That's the only way you're going to find out. It will make you a better teacher by walking away from the front of the classroom, sharing the knowledge with the students, and seeing how much they can impress you with their knowledge. And then at the same time, you can help those who you've learned through formative assessment that are not as strong, help them, bring them up to par.